Vrindai Hai Tulsi Vyai Priyai Hai Keshavashacha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Sacha Vachoy Namo Namaha. Jai Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vasudaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namanam States Vasvadeva Nivasasis Navadi Bastet. We offer our most respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees, who could fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen, conditioned souls. Jai Vanchakalpa Tarubhyas Cha Kripasindhubhya Vicha Patidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so time for class. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodananda Rajajanuranjana Yasodananda Rajajanuranjana Jamuna Ravana Chade Yamuna Ravana Chade Jai Hurad Umadava Kunabihadi Jai Radha Madhova Kunjabeyati Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopinana Balaba Iri Bodhare Yasodanandana Brajajanarandana Yasodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Jayadadu Madhava Kundavihari Jayurada Madhuva Kundavihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidikacharya, also Teta Satashi Shimad, His Divine Grace Abhaya Chalanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopikapadas Sayam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Pitsuradam Ki Jai Jagadath Swami Ki Jai Yamunamai Ki Jai Shrimati Lasi Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Haribol. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nama Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Vastaya Budale, Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pacharni Nivashesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Dejatarni. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vastaya Budale, Shrimati Namaste. So, Om Ganad. Anyway, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 31st chapter, text 8. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Amadhuraya Gira Vagu Vakyaya Buddha Manogya Pushkarekshana Vidhi Karir Ima Vira Muyatir Adhara Sudunapyayas Sidunapyayashva Naha. Okay. Madhurya Gira Bhaguvakyaya Buddha Manogya Manogya Pushkarekshana Vidikaririma Viramuyate Adara Sunapyaya Yashvanaha Madhurya Gira Bhagavatya Buddha Manogya Pushkarekshana Vidikaririma Viramuyate Adara Sunapyaya Yashvanaha Madhurya Gira Bhagavatya Buddha Manokya Pushkarekshana Vidikarirhima Viramuyate Adara Sununapyaya Yashvanaha. Okay. Gira Bhagavatya right? Madhurya, sweet. Gira, by your voice. Valgu, charming. Bhakya, by your words. Buddha, to the intelligent. Manogya, attractive. Pushkara, lotus. Ikshana, you whose eyes. Vidikarihi, maidservants. Ima, these. Vira, O hero. Muyatehi, becoming bewildered. Adhara, of your lips. Siduna, with the nectar. Apyaya yasva, please restore to life. Na, us. Translation. Should work. O lotus-eyed one, your sweet voice and charming words, which attract the minds of the intelligent, are bewildering us more and more. Our dear hero, please revive your maidservants with the nectar of your lips. So, I'm going to repeat the verse and then we'll read the commentaries by the acharyas. Madhurya gira bhagavakya buddhamanogya pushkarekshana vidhikarerima viramuyatir adara sidunhapya yashvana. So, Omagana Timadandasha Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shigure Namaha. So, before I read the commentaries of the acharyas, I'm going to talk about this one word here. Lips. So this is, from the materialistic perspective, this is quite sensuous, isn't it? You know, you talk about lips. I mean, feet are not so sensuous, I guess, most cases. But then lips? So the interesting thing here is, in the previous verses, you find the gopis talking about the feet, isn't it? Of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here they're talking about the lips of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is all indicative of the way that we need to approach these particular topics. As mentioned, the Bhagavatam has different verses, or different cantos, correspond to different parts of the Lord's transcendental body, beginning with the lotus feet, which is the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the way up to the smiling face. And smiling face has the lips on it. Doesn't have the lips? It does have the lips. I've never seen too many faces without lips on them. So, in order to be able to not get bewildered by this description, because naturally we project our own, experiences, whether they're romantic experiences or our own, even if we're not romantic, lips and senses and tongue and everything like that. And we project these understandings upon the realm of the Absolute. And until we are actually completely convinced that the Lord has Satchidananda Vigraha, that his body is eternal, blissful, full of knowledge. That is the nature, the composition of Krishna's body. Krishna is non-different from his body. And the souls are non-different from their spiritual bodies. There's no duality there. Until we have this realization, then all this is very bewildering, because usually in this world someone wants to have the lips, let's just talk about prasadam, okay? Let's talk about the tongue, because as a sannyasi, it's hard for me to understand lips. But usually, it's a question of just satisfying the different sensations. Of course, the lips means the touch sensation. Just like we like to touch things. I mean, it's hard for me to talk about lips, so I'm not going to talk about them. But for example, we like to touch, there's a cat out here. You understand the cat? No, you don't know what cat is. Anyway, there's a cat, Tilak. And it's very nice, isn't it, to touch him? No? Yes? What? Yeah, because it's so, anyway, it's so cuddly. He's so cuddly, the cat, so we get this sensation from our hands. Hopefully we're not putting our lips on it. Although my brother used to kiss his pets. He used to kiss the dog on the lips. The nectar. the nectar of the lips of a dog. Sorry about that. So, but there's these senses and the sense objects, the touch, and the smell, and the taste. All these things are just like we're trying to exploit this material nature. And, these romantic affairs too. You hear about this, then, of course, kissing, Kissing. It's just like trying to enjoy that feeling. But this is not what's going on here. It's really hard to understand it. Maybe for all of you, it's very easy. But it's hard to understand it. Lips touching other lips. What's going on? And so, basically, it's an exchange of love, real love, which in this material world is perverted and is manifest as basically, I scratch your lips, you scratch mine. I know, you scratch. It's an exchange of sense gratification. I know it's not scratch the lips. But, oh my God. I mean, sometimes even in these loving exchanges, there is scratching, but not of the lips. There's biting of the lips, not scratching of the lips. So it's not like that. It's not a business exchange. It's simply, I want to serve you, Krishna. The gopis are thinking. And Krishna's thinking he wants to serve the gopis. So try to understand, at least theoretically understand this so you don't get bewildered and don't stimulate your own lusty desires by hearing these things. Because it's a fact that if one hears about these things and doesn't at least have a philosophical understanding, they can stimulate one's own lust. And Prabhupada actually said that when the devotees, and I mentioned this several times, many, many times before, and devotees in Los Angeles, they had this Gopi Baba Club. Gopi Baba Club means that they would pick parts of Prabhupada's books which deal with these intimate exchanges. Of course, this particular part of the Bhagavatam was not translated by Prabhupada at that particular time. But there are parts of the Chaitanya Charitamrita that, get quite, I don't want to use the word racy, but, they're at least can be misunderstood in different ways. And the devotees were actually having these private meetings, or private or public or whatever meetings, and they were just concentrating on these particular pastimes. And their theme song was Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. They would chant that instead of Jai Radhamadava before they started their readings, before they started their discussions. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that song, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur really appreciated that song. I think that was the last song they were singing for him as he was leaving this world. But still, they were taking parts of Prabhupada's books out to stimulate their material desires, really. Projecting Atmavat Manyate Jagat. Atmavat Manyate Jagat means we see what's happening within us. We project it on the whole world, and in this particular case, you project it on Krishna's pastimes. And so they were basically, according to Prabhupada, they were becoming more lusty, which is interesting. Because generally you hear that when you read about Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, it's actually the cure. If you worship Radha and Krishna, it's the cure. Like Prabhupada was asked one time by someone, what's the solution for lust? And generally, one devotee published a book, The Joy of No Sex, And he had all sorts of crazy things in that book, like, put yourself in ice cubes if you feel really lusty. Can you imagine that? Obviously, the lust won't manifest, but it'll still be there in the heart. So, no, Baba said, worship the deity, see the form of Krishna. As Rupa Goswami says, if you'd all desire to enjoy society, friendship, and love, don't go to see Krishna who's standing on the bank of the Keshi Ghat playing his flute. Because you become so attracted. Like when I see the deities, Radha Golokananda, then I forget about everything. Even I forget about my car. Which is probably my biggest attraction in this world. Anyway, so and not speaking about the Prius. Anyway, so I forget about everything when I see them because they're so attractive. So Prabhupada said that deity worship is the cure. However, Prabhupada said deity worship is for mature devotees. For various reasons. One reason, of course, if one takes the deities becomes overly familiar with the deities, then there's a chance of offenses. Well, not only a chance, that is an offensive mentality. So one has to be very, very careful. It says with dealing with the spiritual master, dealing with the deities, like dealing with the sun. The sun can actually purify you. The sun can actually burn you. Either one of the two. So that's actually the cure. But one has to be or hearing about the pastimes of Krishna with the gopis. One can actually be cured of this lust. But one really has to understand who Krishna is, who the gopis are, and what does it mean when the gopis and Krishna kiss. That's what's being mentioned here. And if you go into the other books of the Goswamis, there's actually more, don't want to use the word explicit, but explicit means just precise or something like that, descriptions of the exchanges that really would appear to be bodily, and then, physical bodily. And that's why in India there are so many different sampradayas. That means basically bogus sampradayas that are based upon lust. And Krishna consciousness was known for a long time by many people as just like a very fallen type of process because people didn't understand the philosophy. And of course you have the great personalities like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who in one sense reestablished in a very erudite way the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, writing about Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana, the three different stages or aspects of devotional service. Sambandha, what is the relationship between that? What are the tattvas? What is Jiva tattva? What is Vishnu tattva? What is Shakti tattva? What is Lord Shiva? I guess Shiva tattva, whatever. And what is the relationship between all of them? And so Krishna has a spiritual body. So anyway, so when Prabhupada, getting back to the story in Los Angeles, so Prabhupada got really angry. I mean, Prabhupada was so disturbed. And he said, this will actually stop the preaching of our Krishna consciousness movement when people get into these things. And then they would argue with Prabhupada. But Prabhupada, it's in your books. And Prabhupada said, using the metaphor of a pharmacy, I think Prabhupada said pharmacopoeia or something like that, a pharmacy, that there's many different medicines, but you just can't, and all the medicines may be good, but you can't just pick and choose whatever medicine you want. You got to have the proper diagnosis from the doctor, and the pharmacist has to understand what is the proper dosage, and then there's side effects too in material medicine. So one has to be very careful. That's the main thing. And Prabhupada said that instead of getting purified by hearing about the gopis in the way that they were hearing, they were getting putrefied. In other words, their devotional service was becoming, or their consciousness was becoming covered. So this is very, very important. So when we read these things, it's important to keep in our minds, spiritual body, gopis are trying to please Krishna. It's not like my lips, not like my tongue, not like my nose, not like my eyes. These are spiritual senses. Our senses are, we have spiritual senses, but they're covered by these material coverings. Atakshi Krishna Namadi Navavet Grayam Indriyai. But if we Sevan Mukhehi Jivado, if we serve Krishna with the senses, particularly what? Jiva, the tongue, then Swayame Vispirachira, then we can eventually understand what's going on here. So it's just like, theoretically, yeah, I understand. We understand right now, but be very careful about entering into it in a sensual way when entering into these particular descriptions. So I just wanted to preface this whole discussion by that. You know, when you hear about lips, it definitely is something that could be understood to be sensuous. So let's read the commentary of the Acharyas. And Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, it's quite amazing because he actually derives the conversations that are ensuing between the gopis and Krishna from the comments of the previous acharyas, and also from the verses themselves, and from his own realization. I guess this would be considered to be the epitome of hermeneutics, where you can actually, isn't it, not only derive the understanding of what's going on here and how to apply it, but actually derive a whole pastimes from the interaction. I mean, I shouldn't be doing this. But Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, being realized and being able to perceive these pastimes, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochadena, Santak Shadaiva Hridiyeshu Vilokiyanti, in his heart of hearts. Because his eyes are no longer conditioned eyes, or no longer covered. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochadena. His eyes are tinged with a salve, because that word isn't used so much anymore, salve. Ointment of love of God. You know, when I first heard this expression, I was thinking, where can I get that ointment? Put it on my eyes so I can see Krishna always. So he's able to perceive Krishna's pastimes and enter into Krishna's pastimes. Literally, the pure devotee can be in this world and also in the spiritual world simultaneously. So he can go into meditation and see these pastimes taking place. So here is Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's commentary. O women, more dear to me than life. So this is Krishna speaking. He's actually writing down what Krishna was saying to the gopis. O women more dear to me than life, dear gems, you're my very life. I am not indifferent to you. Why do you not have faith in this servant bound by golden chains and golden prema? What an expression. Have faith in me. You know me like the bangles on your auspicious hands. Hearing such words from Krishna, other gopis said, we have become overcome with bliss on tasting the sweetness of your words, which are composed of sweet syllables, madhurya, with various meanings in each beautiful phrase, which reveal the mind of an intelligent person. Please rejuvenate us, bewitched women, by letting us again, punah, drink the nectar of your lips. Another meaning is, please let us bewildered women drink the nectar of your lips, and again, punah, put us into bewilderment. Jiva Goswami's commentary. Worried that there is no remedy for the pain caused by bewilderment induced by the desire to drink his words, which are similar to the fragrance of his face, they pray for the nectar of his lips, medicine to drink along with the external medicine of his physical association. Revise us with the nectar of your lips, otherwise we will soon die. Why? By remembering your words we faint and almost die. They remember words like the following. Swagatambo mahabhaga asyatam karavamakim yano didrikshya prapta upapannamidam hivaha. Welcome. Most fortunate ladies, please sit down and make yourselves comfortable. What can I do for you? That you have come here to see me is most appropriate. Bhagavatam 10:23-25. Katura baba mridviva pranastvam asivradike asti nanya chakurasya chandralekam vinagataki. O Radha, whether you are harsh or gentle to me, you are my very life, just as the chakora bird takes shelter of the crescent moon. That's from Vidagdha Madhava, which is Srila Rupa Goswami's play about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Those words are charming to all beings because they are tender with prema, sweet with proper placement of syllables, and correct intonation, and attractive algo filled with longing, qualification, attachment, and beauty. The words are attractive to the intelligent, giving joy by depth of meaning, ornaments, emotions, rasa, and essence, expressed through direct and indirect meaning of words. In a fainting state, they address themselves as ima, those persons, to indicate that they are present at that time for certain, visible to the eyes. And how can I give something that cannot be given? And that's Krishna speaking. O Vira, Vira means heroic one, you are most merciful, Daya Vira, or generous, Dana Vira. In speaking, he also had a beautiful, playful glance, Pushkarekshana, which increased the attraction of the words. There's some of the quotes from different shastras, like the Krishna Karnamrita here. Pariya chitamrita rasani padartha bhangi valguni valgita vishala vilochanani palyadikani madaballava bhavini bhir bhave lutanti shukritam tava jalpitani. Your conversations with the impassioned wives of the cowherds, which are attractive with skillful verses and wordplay, which cause rasa completely filled with nectar, which cause the wide eyes of the gopis to quiver, and which increase constantly because of the playfulness of youth, tremble within the love-laden hearts of the pious women. And that's, of course, Bilbamangal Thakura's Krishna Karnamrita. Or since we are bewildered by your words, we have become your servants. Vidi karihi. All of our discrimination has disappeared because of bewilderment, or because of your words, we have become your servants. But because of the pain of separation, we have fainted. So revive us with the nectar of your lips. Otherwise we will die. We faint because of your words, which we now remember. There is no one dearer than you, women. Fainting accompanies death. We faint without the nectar of your lips. The remedy is the nectar. By attaining that, we are cured. Nothing else will cure us that is quite suitable. We follow your order. The cause of fainting from the words is described. And actually here, lips can be understood also as the words of Krishna. The cause of fainting from the words is described. The words are sweet like nectar, or they give intoxication. Madhuram rati. Why the words are attracted by meaning and sound. They attract the minds of women. Badhu manogya. The words are attractive to mind and ears. In a fainting state, the gopis address themselves as ima, those persons, to indicate that they are present at that time for certain, visible to the eyes. How can you faint just by words? You are endowed with great abilities. Vira, your words are similar. How can I give something that cannot be given? O Vira, you are most merciful, Dayavira, or generous, Danavira. In speaking, he also had beautiful, playful glance, Pushkarekshana, which increased the attraction of the words. Pariyat chitamata rasani, padartha bhangi. Falguni vyat valgita vishala vilochanani. Valyadikani madabalava bhavani vir. Vavelutanti shukratam. Tavajalpitani. That's also a quote from Krishna Karnamrita. All right, let's see. There are other things. All right. Whoops. So, any questions or comments? Mother Ramilla? The Temple of Kadasi? What do you mean? Oh! I forgot. Sorry. My bad. My bad. Anyway, I apologize. I actually forgot about that. There was a Kadasi we're supposed to. Anyway. Let's see, is there anything else here? Just one other thing here. Or, this is Sanatana Goswami's commentary. If by women who are knowledgeable are attracted to your words, what can be said of devotees? Or if learned women are attracted, what to speak of ignorant women like us? Or by words which are pleasing to hearing, by which are actually beautiful words, attractive only to unskillful women, these gopis, Ima, whose judgment has become lost of love, become your servants and faint for you for the nectar of your lips. Do not make us recover. Let us die. That is proper for us who have no sense of judgment. This statement is made out of intense pain and prema. It's very difficult, because automatically, you're talking about lips again. Yeah. It's quite difficult because automatically, when we hear, what to speak of, of the more intimate pastimes that are related in other books, like Govinda Lilamrita and other books like that. So when we hear about these things, automatically the mind flashes to, to material experiences, either in this life or in previous lives, or in something that we've seen in the movies or something that we've heard about. And it's just like, it's very hard. So how? I think we just keep pulling the mind out and hearing the philosophy. No, it's not like that. It's transcendental. But what does transcendental actually mean? If we haven't realized it, isn't it? You say, well, it's transcendental. Okay, what does that mean? When we haven't had experience of the categories, then how to understand it? So it's a question of just hearing again and again, and okay, it's not like that. It's not like I experience, not like I'm thinking. It's something different. It's completely transcendental and somehow or other function on the intelligence platform. But if we try to understand it like with the feelings, it's going to be almost impossible for a conditioned soul. Or even if we try to picture it in our minds, it's actually very, very difficult, isn't it? And based upon our own experience, what's going on here? So I think just we have to just function on the theoretical platform. It's very dangerous. And that's why we have to hear continually, and that's why I brought up the point. We have to hear continually about how it's not like something we experienced. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. I mean, one can just become more lusty by hearing about these things, and then one will lose one's Krishna consciousness. So, for me, it's very elevated subject matter. I just like Bhagavad Gita. All I can understand, I can't even understand it, not the body. Jai, Shri Shri Radhagolokananda ki Jai. Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Bhajami Vedam Ganantam Arvindadalayaksham Bhagavatam Sasitam Sudarangam Nandapakotitamaniyya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yastasate Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Bhakti Kayanti Chiram Sharanti Anganatnaya Sadhu Jala Vigrasya Govindam Shiv Jago, Shiv Jago, Gorachanda Bole. Kotanendra Yagomaya Visatira Kode. Visatira Kode. Vanajiva Vani I say Samsara Vitare. Mulea ruine to me, Apijagabare. Tomaregi lighting on me, I knew Avatara. Hami bina pano arakan Keyache tomara. Heniche achone maya Asibaruna gigi. Haninama mantra Thou to be mage. Hakateve Nona Prabhu Jamrene Boreya. Say Harinama mantra Loilo Makia. Chief Jago, Chief Jago, go return the bone again. Kotanedra Gao, Paya, Visatira Kode. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasade Gauravat Vrindanaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasade Gauravat Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Radhe, Radhe, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidagacharya, also Teta Satashi Shimad, His Divine Grace Abhaya Chalanad Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nanda Goti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Sayam Kun Radhagunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavanam Ki Jai, Mathuranam Ki Jai, Jagannath Swami Ki Jai, Yamunamai Ki Jai, Srimati Lasadevi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees, all glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vasai Gurule Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Namaste Nirvani Paschata Deja Tarni. So read the translation. Lord Gaurachandra is calling. Wake up, sleeping soul. Wake up, sleeping soul. How long do you sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? You have forgotten the way of birth, a devotional service, and are lost in the cycle of birth and death. I have descended just to save you. I am your only true friend. Other than me, what friend do you have? I have brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you suffer. Take this great chant for deliverance, Mahamantra, the names of Hari. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, falling at the Lord's lotus feet, take shelter of the Harinam mantra, the Lord's holy names. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Okay. Shikshastika Chaitodarpanamarjanam Baba Mahad Bhagni Nibrapadam Shreya Kairavi Chandrika Vitadam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Bhudi Vardhanam Pradipatam Padamartha Sarvapasadaram Paramritariti Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Thank you.